Hello and welcome to a North Wales side-by-side video. First, I want to say thank you for all the kind messages after the sad news on Tuesday, where we had to have Monty, our 15-year-old black retriever, put to sleep due to Monty having liver cancer and it also spreading to other organs in his body. We made the decision on Monday night that we'd monitor him because he had a bad night. We made the decision we didn't want to see him suffer, so it was a sad day. I wish it was Keir Starmer I was actually taking into the vets to have put down, but we can't be that lucky, can we? Anyhow, we've since been and collected Monty's ashes. We did that on Thursday, and everybody involved, they were absolutely amazing. But a big thank you to all your kind messages. Right, what I want to talk about in the video tonight is the kids' education. Now, I don't know what they're trying to teach kids these days in school. I can't understand the theory behind some of the things they try and teach them. Now, Jasmine tonight asked me excuse me, to help her with her maths homework, and she was doing trigonometry, and they'd been set 5 trigonometry questions, and they were all drawn out in a pre-printed book. Their homework books are all pre-printed that go with the syllabus these days. So she showed me what she'd been given. Then I asked her to explain to me what the teacher had actually told her. Have to excuse me, I'm absolutely full of cold. So I asked her what the teacher had actually told her in respect to working out the angles, so she could figure out what the missing angles were in the pictures. And what they'd given them is a right-angled sided triangle and given them the outside angle of 270 degrees. And they'd also given them one inside angle and asked them to work out all the other angles. But the way Jasmine explained it to me, what her teacher had said didn't make any sense. So I've gone back to basics with her and showed her how to do it and how I was taught to do it, what, 40 odd years plus ago. And I made it very simple because I think any mathematical problem should be made as simple as possible, so you can grasp it easily, quickly and understandably and remember it. Anyhow, once I'd explained it to her, and then I showed her how to use a protractor, which they hadn't even been shown how to do in school. The teacher hadn't shown her how to use a protractor. Now, when you're doing trigonometry, you should always have a protractor, and you can work angles out and read them off the protractor, but they hadn't been shown how to do it. She'd got one, she got it in a pencil case, but for some reason they don't show her how to use it. So that was one of the mathematical problems she asked me about. Then there was another, it was a logic problem. They'd given her one logic problem, and they'd asked her to add up all the figures of the clock, and there was a picture of a clock, without sort of crossing lines and things, to add two numbers on a clock face to 13. So she got 12 and 1, that adds up to 13. And then she said to me, well, what about the rest? How do I add the rest up? How does that work? Now, if you start with 12 and 1, and I'll show you, I'll draw it out, and you circle 12 and 1, it adds up to 13. If you then circle 11 and 2, it adds up to 13. And if you keep adding up the opposite numbers on a clock, they will always add up to 13. It works every single time, but you have to start with 12 and 1 and diagonally go across to the opposite number. So if you pick 10, you pick 3, and so on. It goes as you go around the clock, and every time it'll add up to 13. But it was just such a simple logic problem, but I really don't think they are taught the correct things in school these days. Right, this is the logic problem that Jasmine was set, where you're showing a clock face 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and back to 12, where you have to, without crossing lines, without sort of going all over the place on the clock face, add two numbers up all the time to make 13. Well, the first two you're going to add up is 12 and 1. Then you're going to go 11 and 2, 10 and 3, 9 and 4, 8 and 5, 7 and 6. And you've never ever crossed a line. And that was the logic problem she was set. So there's your 12 plus your 1, 13. 11 plus your 2, 13. 10, 3, 13. 9, 4, 13. 8 and 5, 13. 7 and 6, 13. And that was the simple logic problem she was set. They're not taught simple stuff like this in school anymore. They are just not taught it. So them two, them two, them two, them two, them two, them two. She didn't realise if you did it like that, that the opposing figures always add up to 13. It's, I don't know, what do they teach them? No idea. Boggles my brain. But getting back onto trigonometry, I was talking to Jasmine after we'd finished her homework, and I said, I made a statement, and I said to Jasmine, you were born knowing how to do trigonometry. From the moment you were born, you knew how to do trigonometry. And she couldn't, she had a little think about it, and she couldn't figure it out. So I said to her, walk across the room and head to the door and go and grab the door handle. So she walked across the room, went for the door handle, and then she says, well, what does that prove? I says, that proves you know how to do trigonometry without even thinking about it. You've walked from one spot to the door, and you've walked in a straight line at an angle. You've then lifted your arm up and grabbed the door handle, and you've got your arm at the correct angle. You have used trigonometry and not even realised you've used it. A lot of people do not realise trigonometry is one of the things a human being is actually born knowing how to do. We know how to do trigonometry at a very, very early age. Across the road, you go from point A to point B. You might walk in a straight line, so you might walk 90 degrees from the curb, or you might be heading up the road. But you'll always work it out in your head what angle to walk at. But you won't put it down on paper. You will just know that's the correct angle to walk at. And everything you do, even driving a car, you see a corner, you know how much to turn that steering wheel in relationship to the corner to go around that corner. And she didn't realise that. And the other thing we were talking about was history. I really don't know what they're teaching them about history these days, because she asked me what the poppy meant. What was the symbolisation of the poppy? So I tried to explain to her, today is Remembrance Sunday, and it's us remembering all the military people that have fought in the past. It doesn't matter which war, Falklands, Iraq, World War II, World War I, you can go back millennia. We're remembering the soldiers that fell in action, and that's what Poppy Day is about. It's remembering the people that gave us the freedoms. But they're not taught this in school. She had no idea what Poppy Day meant. So I was talking to her about the type of history that she's been taught. And all they seem to teach them in school is like she's 10 years old. All the history she knows is what's happened in her lifetime from the day she was born. She's got no idea about history pre-being born. She's no idea what happened before she was born, because it's not what they're teaching them in school. It's as if the establishment is trying to forget the past. They don't want us knowing what's going on, or what, shall I say, what has happened in the past. They don't want to teach them about World War II. They don't want to teach them about the Falklands. They don't want to teach them about World War I and the atrocities and the suffering that people went through. It just boggles my brain what they're teaching them in schools today. They're very, very, very centred on the establishments have got an idea and they're trying to hide the past. They don't want the kids learning about the mistakes that previous generations have made. It really blows my brains how they teach kids these days, and I don't think it's the right way to teach them. They need to know what happened in the past. They really, really do. So they don't make the mistakes when they get older that our generation have made, our generation before us has made, the generation before them have made. Because we make the same mistakes over and over again. Anyhow, that's my little whinge for tonight. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. I just thought I'd put that. Excuse the cough. It will go eventually. Yeah. Let me know what you think about what I've said. Have you come across the same with your kids? Can you not understand the way they're being taught when they ask you for help with their homework? Because I struggle with the kids' homework and I have to go back to basics, and I'm probably doing the wrong thing, but I'm trying to explain it how I was taught. But for some unknown reason, the way I was taught, they seem to grasp. I work to a principle called KISS. KISS stands for Keep It Simple, Stupid. The simpler you can make things, the easier they are to understand, learn and grasp. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Please consider liking, please consider subscribing. Thank you very much.